up, punters and dribblers? Welcome back to About Even for another week. The number one punting show on planet Earth, brought to you by our good friends at Neds. Take it to the Neds level. If you are going to have a punt, do it responsibly, please. So, joined as always by Edward, Sebo, Scope. Now, we've got some breaking news here. 1 week into the season. Well, this is the second week, but after 1 week, one famous week, they're calling it the famous week. We've got some sad news. Scope is leaving.
Listen, we got him on because we wanted someone that knew what the fuck they were talking about. We saw first week results and we said he's not for us. He's not up to it.
Boys, it just wasn't good enough for me. I'm just going to tap myself on the shoulder before I get the tap on the shoulder for you guys.
Yeah.
I think it's just time to move on. Yeah. Usher someone else in. But in all seriousness, it's sad. Had a good time last week. Got a couple more weeks. But, yeah. My name's Mud at the moment with all this sort of stuff. So, punters and dribblers, don't turn on me.
No. Don't turn on Scope. Obviously, we'd have nothing to do with any of the shit like that, you went through before. None of our business. But this situation is very much not something where you deserve any criticism for. You've got your new show with Willie Mason, who's in the room with us.
Big OG's in the room.
It's a fucking great show, but you've got on. And obviously it's conflict of interest. It is what it is. We're happy for you, but we're sad for ourselves.
We'll miss you, bro.
We'll miss you, but we'll replace you as well.
We will still be doing some content, hopefully, boys, with regards to obviously, the conflict of interest with the betting in particular. But I love doing content with you boys. Going to write it out for a couple of weeks. Let's get a replacement in. We're going to put our heads together, come up with someone cool. But yeah, a little bit sad, but then also very bittersweet, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's bittersweet.
Yeah,
it's bittersweet.
It's bittersweet, but
Sweet
it's
but
sweet.
bitter.
It's sweet and bitter.
Sweet and bitter.
Sweet and bitter.
Coming up on the show this week, our first accountability for the year. It's a fucking tough one. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
We're obviously looking at all the rugby league this week. We got unit scoopers. Our $10 to 10,000 didn't fucking start fantastically.
Finished strong though.
Finished strong. Started poor. We'll get into it.
Some of us are doing the job.
Hey, fuck off. And then Lippy dribbler Mitch Healy. Now, we came from a guy last week who was called Snapley. So, there was a lot you could do with a name like that. Mitch Healy.
And he had a Wobbegong punting logo. A lot you can do with it.
Mitch Healy doesn't bring a lot.
Is that former 5'8" from the Sharks 90s, Mitch Healy?
You know what? It wouldn't shock me because it sounds like.
Well, you reckon that's his boy?
Mitch Healy and Adam Dykes combo back in the day, early 90s. Some of the punters and dribblers will know about those early 90s
They might.
Sharks, the famous.
How early are we
Sharks,
talking? Because, I was born 89.
Mitch, OG's in the background. You would have played against Mitch Healy, mate? Yeah, Mitch Healy. Yeah, he played 90s, mid to late 90s, I'd say, Mitch Healy. So I reckon it's him, definitely him.
So you reckon it's his boy? Yeah.
No, it's him.
It's him.
Unless he's
a dribbler.
You reckon he's a dribbler?
He's a dribbler. Yeah, Mitch Healy's a dribbler.
Shout out to you, Mitch.
Shout out
Must
to
be
you.
getting on, but that's all right.
Significantly. Join the Facebook page About Even or the Punters and Dribblers if you want to follow along. Instagram About Even. But I think let's just fucking get into some accountability, hey? Tough first week. Storm defeat the Eels. What was the fucking score here?
16-12.
Yep. Yeah, I got that's a bad beat for me. I feel I picked the unders. I was bullish on the unders. It was unders every second of the game. It looked like it was going to be unders. And Seaver got called back on a forward pass. And then on the 80th minute, it looked like he was about to grubber it in for himself. That's a bad beat.
Seaver grubbering him to himself. You don't see a whole lot of that.
Well, it wasn't a bad beat. It was a forward pass. So it was just a shit pass.
If you want to start calling forward passes bad beats.
Mate, you guys call bad beats 4 legs out of 7
time to
legs.
grow up, buddy.
No.
It's
Tell you what a bad
get
beat was, not getting the overs. That was a bad beat.
No.
It was an unders game. Everyone knew it was an unders game.
I think round one should be under.
It was an unders week.
It was an unders week.
6 from 8. Obviously, that bad beat.
6 from 8 unders.
Yeah. I went overs and I fucking picked the Eels. So
great start.
Of the entire round, the entire game, only 2 successful legs. One to you, Sebo, of unders, and then the Lippy had Meanie anytime. So that was a fucking really disgusting start.
Gets better, Tom.
It does. We roll into Warriors defeating the Knights.
I had the Warriors line -5.5. That was also into 10 into 10,000, but that was basically it. You had Chance.
I had Chance. Dommy Young. I'll never tip him again for a try. And I know that seems like quite a drastic stance to take after one round, but like I just feel like I've been fucked by Dommy.
But it's like
too many times.
We watched the World Cup and Dommy Young was just on fire, and everyone's like, load on him for 2-3 tries. But now he's back at the Knights. It's like when he was playing the World Cup. It's almost like he just had a fresh haircut. He had a bit of gel in or something. And now he's just back to.
Well, he was playing with decent players.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
probably
yeah.
what
It's
you're
like
trying to say.
Dom Young has potential, but I'm not so sure about the Knights.
Basically, leave Dommy Young on the pine until he goes to the Roosters. Is that essentially what we're saying?
If you're going to get fucked, it's no Dommy.
No, exactly. Yeah, we're not bareback.
No Dommy.
Yeah, listen, we're bareback operators.
Yeah. All in relationships, barebacking's fine these days.
Absolutely. You can't trust a Dommy.
Scope, you haven't got a leg yet, though, just so you know.
Yep, 0 from 4, as we can see here, boys. I'm looking at Eduardo's. It's coming up on the screen there.
0 from 4.
Yeah, look, I think, obviously, if Kalen finishes off that game, I think Knights get a little bit closer. But
that sounds like an excuse.
you got to take his head knocks into consideration, boys.
You do.
You got to factor him in.
You got to factor it in when you bet on the Knights. There's a good chance KP might not finish the game.
Yep.
So that's my bad. Again, we'll learn from it. We'll get better. But yeah, it doesn't look like it gets any better for me as the week goes.
No, it doesn't. But that's all right. It's similar situations for all of us here. Broncos defeat Panthers. Now, this obviously has a lot to do with us. We basically helped Kempy break the curse by getting him the Liver King.
The Liver King.
Pounding liver on the live stream. Obviously, I don't think anyone's convinced that liver's what got it done. We do assume that he is still Trennan Kemp. But I had Cobbo anytime. Didn't happen. Eddie?
Casper, the Ghost, Dill Edwards, nothing. Seb, Panthers 13 plus, nothing.
Yeah.
Scope, Broncos, Panthers halftime full, Panthers didn't win. So.
I was pretty confident at halftime, 12-6 up. The Broncos. I
You were the
thought
closest.
Panthers would come home strong, but
That's almost a bad beat somehow.
Obviously, Jamin Salmon and Jerome Law didn't work it out, and therefore the bet didn't work out.
Well, that's troubles. That's troubles. I know all the people who actually have a reasonable opinion in rugby league are like, you'll have to see it. I think Panthers are fucked.
Yeah. Really bad signs.
Really bad signs.
Yep.
Fucking screaming at each other on the field after the first round. Not good.
Jamin lipping up to a senior.
Two-time premiership winner.
There you go.
I was going on about like missing a tap-in par kind of thing and not doing it again. But then you look at Jordan Spieth's career, you know what I mean? He won like 4 majors in a row and then just fell off the face of the earth.
Well, he got the yips.
Yeah, he got the yips. So
maybe the Panthers have got the yips.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm
like the
thinking,
Steve Hookers.
Yeah, I like the tides are turning maybe. At least from a punting perspective. You used to lock in 4 try scorers every week.
Yeah.
Now you're just like, ugh.
I, like most people, I think, liked the Panthers when they're on the come up. Now they're good. I fucking hate them. So that's just the vibe I'm getting. Seagulls pump the Bulldogs. Hump the Bulldogs, fuck the Bulldogs into the ground, 31-6. It was the match of the round. Garrick didn't get a hat-trick, though, so from a punting perspective...
Oh, he didn't.
My mate did. DCE. My one hit so far probably should have gone double now in hindsight. Maybe triple.
A DC hat-trick as a standalone bet would have been fucking alpha.
That would have probably been... That would have 450, That DCE was enough value, but... Yeah, once again, got a bit carried away. Thought it was going to be overs. Thought it was going to be some points.
I got carried away.
Rando gave
there.
us some stats on DC, or was that someone else?
No, what was the stat you had? Like
the halfback had scored the most tries against the Bulldogs outside of the top. Outside of the back for 3.
Yeah, that's a great stat.
It's all there.
And he scored 3, so that stat just keeps rising now.
Yeah.
Listen, you know what? Like maybe last week we disrespected Rando a little bit by ignoring his stats because he also had some for Souths that fucked me as well.
Yeah, the stats.
You got to listen to Rando, boys. You got to listen to him. I was fucked by a Kalma Tuolangi, who they didn't seem to be going to a whole lot, but fuck, you take the win at the end of the day. As a Seagulls tragic, you just take the dub.
Yep.
It was a great victory, boys. How was it out there? You got
fucking heaving.
It was so hot.
You're on the hill, the old hill. They've got.
We're on the hill.
You're on the hill.
Yeah, hill.
Yeah,
not Family Hill.
Yeah, not Family Hill.
No. Which is no longer there. No, we're on the hill. Fucking hot, but it was heaving.
There were some dudes that were like in the middle of a bender. Like there were guys sitting
doing
down.
it tough.
Oh, dude, like just fucking gurning and shit, shirts off, leaning up against the tank, sweaty as fuck.
You could see it on the field. The boys really doing it tough, except for our mate, the skipper DCE. He just got better as the game went on, boys.
Yeah, he loved it up.
So again, not a single successful bet. Cowboys, Raiders. I was looking fucking good on this one. I actually think it's sort of a bad beat. I don't know how I'm going to justify it, but I had Cowboys 13 plus. I think they were up 18-0. Or 12-0? 18-0?
18, I think.
18-0 to Alungi?
Yeah.
So that was in the bag, 350.
Yeah, but games are 80 minutes, Tom. They won by 1 point.
And that's the bad beat.
Yeah, well.
The game went too long.
Okay.
But against the Raiders, you normally they're the other way around, aren't they? Like normally they come back, they start well and then drop off.
And then
so
drop
yeah,
off.
you think you're home with the Cows 13
Raiders
plus.
start bad.
and
You
then-
think you're going to finish bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, Eddie, you had nothing.
Nothing. Didn't. Nah. Cows minus 8.5. Nah.
Just shit. It's all shit, isn't
But
it?
it's coming back to me now. It's very, very difficult to tip round one. Last year, I think it was very fucking similar. You've
It's
almost
not
got to
panic
do the
station.
reverse of what you think's
No.
going to happen.
But it's very scary because our kiddies have taken a bit of a hit.
Yeah.
And there's
Oh, mate,
20, there's 20, like 30 weeks to go.
If we go like this all year, we're going to need to reload
Mate.
3 or 4 times.
Responsibly.
Responsibly reload, obviously punters and dribblers, but fuck me dead. Tough.
Yeah.
This is tough
yeah.
stuff.
No one's ever run out of cash, have they?
The Lippy almost did.
Almost
Yeah.
did. They were about $40
I
off.
tell you what, without the golf safety net, which was never a safety net for me, but like generally speaking, it's tough.
Yeah,
Pretty
golf-
grim leaderboard, let me tell you.
The Lippies don't really care either. Like, they're going hard. They don't
Yeah.
care about the bank.
No, they don't.
They're not
Well,
saying it.
But
no,
they-
because
but they
they've
care
only
about
got 1
glory.
week of glory.
They
They
just
don't
gotta
give a
go
fuck.
hard.
Yeah.
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 They're chasing glory.
Rabbitohs feed Sharks 27-18. I think we all saw this coming, but again, Rando, what was your stat again about AJ?
It was his worst try scoring record against the Sharks out of all the teams.
that nearly threw me
Three
off
tries
last
in
week.
9 games. And I also had Braden Trindle has set up Sione Katoa in
That's
each
right.
of his last 5 as well.
That was
And we
great
saw that
mail.
go up.
Great man.
Rando, dude.
It's good mail.
I'm
It's
over
great
here.
mail.
If you
I'm
just
gonna
want to
listen to
listen
your
to
mail
me
this year.
anytime, I'm giving free tips out.
Yeah.
You are. You're over there just giving free fucking advice.
I was conflicted as a Bunnies fan. You're like, ooh, what's this new right edge we've got going here? Like Ilias, Graham, they're standing up, but like I do have AJ in the bet. So can you just do the old sweep and left plays just a couple times more and just get AJ in? But they go right now, Souths, I think. Like,
Well, they did last week.
I know, but if they keep it up, people like
I hope they
Graham are
do.
350 for an anytime. You know what I mean?
That won't be very long if they keep doing that.
I hope they keep going right based on my bet this week. Put it that way.
Now, legs-wise, how many legs did we get here? Eddie, you got 1. Scope, yet to get a leg, it would seem. Sebo got 1 for the South W. Lippy South W. Poor. Very poor. Now, this next game, I think everyone's fucking gets like, you almost get a pass. We shouldn't even lose units on this fucking game. Dolphins defeat the Roosters.
Roosters are pathetic.
28-18.
Pathetic performance.
Are the Roosters the worst team in the comp, Justin? As a former NRL legend yourself?
What's the price for most losses on the year? Because I'm not going to overreact too much, but they're clearly the worst team in the comp.
Yeah.
So do we, what price have you got the Dolphins, whatever they are, swap with the Roosters and give me some of that.
Roosters spoon?
I can see it happening, boys.
They're
That was
shit.
an awful performance.
Yeah.
They
And
got
Dolphins good.
Kafusi'd out of the game.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Kafusi was just fucking taking souls out there, bro. There was no souls left at the end of the game.
No,
and they played
soulless.
like it.
Yeah.
Soulless rugby league.
Tupo had it.
Tupo Hattie,
You should have 2.
He got it over 3 times. There was a
he
forward
should have
pass,
2.
then he dropped it, and then
That's right.
eventually got it down.
Yeah.
Well, that's a
I
bad
had,
bet.
That's a bad bet.
I got fucked by Teddy. I wasn't allowed to change my Teddy bet. That was unfair.
Teddy doesn't score try.
I know, and I knew that, and I tried to change it. You wouldn't let me.
That's right. You were going to change to Tupo, eh?
Yeah,
we
and I
talked you
would've
out of it. Rando talked. That was the one time you listened to Rando.
Or was I not allowed to?
weren't
Because
allowed
you
to.
talked me out of it, but I'm
I
only
didn't
allowed to
say
take
nothing. I
Rando.
didn't say
Yeah,
nothing.
you can only take
Rando didn't
Rando's
give me
stats.
I can only take his stats.
I think Eduardo was not a fan of it.
Yeah,
You're
no,
not
yeah.
allowed to because you're not. Well, me and Sebo were both in agreement. You can't change your bet unless it's informed by Rando. That's the fucking point.
You should have chucked the piggy on it. That's what you should have done.
I was nervous. It was round 1.
To be fair, you're a bad bounce away. The ball bounced over Teddy's head into
I know.
Tupo's
Yeah,
lap,
that's
so
right.
you're very
Yeah, yeah.
close.
So still not a successful bet for a single person on the show, and that is we're into Sunday. We're into Sunday.
We're into Sunday night now.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
Titans defeat. Eddie's got Titans defeating the Titans here. That would be the Tigers, 22-10. I didn't realise that the Sheenius, Tim Sheens, was going to start happy off the fucking bench. Did I miss that? Like, was that known news?
That caught everyone by
he was
surprise, the
named
Boots
at
couldn't
9.
baby.
Okay.
He was named at 9.
Yeah.
But Sheenius, in all his fucking glory, goes, you know what? I'm not playing arguably the best 9 in the game.
Start him off the bench.
Start him off the bench. Let's just get behind and
Let's
stay
chase
behind.
points.
Let's chase points. We're a good chaser of rugby league points,
Yep.
the Tigers. geez, it's a bold strategy.
There were some points to be had early.
Yeah, and it didn't work. They lost. So
heard some intel that Appy was a little bit injured, a bit unfit. That's why they started him off the bench.
Oh, okay.
That was my intel, by the way. Definitely not Mace beside me.
Okay, a little bit of intel
Well, maybe
there.
he is a genius.
Maybe he is a genius after all.
Yes. There's a bigger plan.
Yes.
And it's not our jam.
And it's not about just like round ones against the Titans,
Yes.
which is like, who gives a fuck?
although you could argue that there was 2 points there on offer.
Yeah.
And that they may not come around that often
For the Tigers. But Seba.
Yeah, look, everyone knows, or if you're a long-time listener, I have a very special bond with Brimo. He's gotten me a lot of units, and sometimes you just got to go clean. Don't throw in other shit around him. Don't put in lines. Don't put in other try scorers. Just go Brimo if he's over 250. And I was so confident that I double staked the thing.
Yeah.
And then
You did.
I was in my outdoor bath down in Borley Point, and I was just getting out of the bath just as the sun was setting, just getting bitten by a few mozzies. I walk inside, I got my towel on, and I've got my KO up, and you just see him cut through the line at 60 metres out, 10 minutes to go, and I'm just like, there is something more powerful in the universe than just whatever. I don't know what it is, a higher power.
But when you put bets on from the bath, that's when I get worried as a competitor, because that seems to be your fucking bread and butter.
Yeah, if
Your
I'm from the
bets are
bath,
fucking good.
I just win. You know what I mean? I just win, and there's a higher power. I don't know if it's gods, whatever's out there. But
Well, who's God of the bath?
Oh, I'm
Maybe
a
Seb's
demigod.
got it.
Maybe you. Demigod,
Yeah,
sure.
I put a story up before the kickoff of me in the bath, letting people know that I'm in the bath, and the Brimo is double
Yeah, we
staked,
saw it.
so
We
if you
saw it.
fucking-
We
saw the bath.
If you
Some
want to
people were
win some
terrified.
cash,
Great
get on
content.
me, and that's what happened.
Brimo looked fucking jacked. I don't like. He scores a try, flex. I'm like, dude, he looks like he's ready to fucking do something this year. Like, he's already been good, right? But he looks fucking huge, and he looked very quick.
He did look quick.
He looked quick,
jacked,
and he looked
and
jacked.
hot. It's a fucking.
Which
It's a
is-
triple threat right there.
Yeah.
No, I
Quick,
think-
jacked and hot.
and hot. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Triple
hard
threat.
to look past.
Well, you can't look past it, Tom.
Eddie, can you take us out from here, from the 10 to 10,000?
Happy to,
unit
Tom.
scoopers?
10 into 10,000. Tom, Eels plus 3.5. Nah.
Thank you, Harry
Eddie,
Grant.
Warriors
Fuck me.
minus 5.5. Tick, Scope, Seagulls, Doggies, overs. Nah. Sebo, Sua, Ali'i. Tick, Rando, Cowboys minus 8.5. Stop betting with your heart, bruh.
18-0 up.
No, listen here. That's the last warning. No. So, because Seb's bet was the last bet of the round, we're a streak of one. So we need 9 more bets, gentlemen. 9 more bets in a row
To make it $10,000.
to make it $10,000. Unit scoopers, all pathetic. Tom, 3 from 8 legs. I had none from 3. Scope, 1 from 4. Sebo, 1 from 8 legs.
Yeah.
And the Lippy, none from 6 with his fucking disgraceful amalgamation of fucking Broncos, Brumbies, try scorers,
Sydney
Albany
Kings.
race 7, the Kings, yuck.
Just
No, I think it
note
was
to
right.
Lippies, can you not include rugby union and stuff like that? It just
The moment I see Albany race 7, tiny and tough for the win, and fucking Sydney Kings, no, it's
That
not gonna
had to
happen.
be male.
Yeah.
For that to be in there,
Yeah,
that
but
had to
mate,
be, and it was awful male.
But some of it was male and some of it was just Lippies being fucking
just
dumb.
being
So
lippy.
you're sort of like,
Yep.
that was a disgusting bet to look at.
Now, the UFC, nothing.
I mean, I got pretty close.
But you didn't.
I got the closest.
So was it you had
Closer you are,
had
the further you are away.
TKO? You had TKO as a submission.
Yeah, but it was a huge upset though. So I tipped the upset.
Right, but you weren't tipping the upset.
I
were you?
said buy when others are selling and sell when others are buying. And
Right.
Bro, you didn't know we were even doing that fight until we were on air and you were like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, the biggest odds possible.
Was I not just talking about a higher power? I just can literally pick something
Well, it didn't
in 1
fucking
second. It
come
gets
off.
closer than you.
Seb, you can't claim shit that didn't happen.
No,
mate.
that's-
So woo up.
Yeah, it doesn't make
All
sense.
right.
Leaderboard, pathetic. Fucking pathetic. Hang your heads in shame, all of us. Sebo,
No,
2
I'm-
from 12, 7 from
I'm all right,
27
mate.
legs.
I'm
minus
fine.
5.17.
I'm minus 5 units. I'm minus 5% after week 1. And look where you guys are. You guys hang your
Awful
heads in shame.
leaderboard.
Pathetic.
Awful leaderboard.
Lippy, none from 9 bets, 5 from 26 legs, minus 6 units. He didn't have the UFC though, so he wouldn't have picked anything there. Would have fallen off a cliff. Myself, 1 from 12, 6 from 23, minus 9.19. Scope. None from 12, 3 from 20 legs. That is dire.
Yeah, it's dog shit.
Minus 10.72. And
You're getting a good one.
you're getting a fucking good one.
It's a good way to go out, boys. It can only be up from here. It can only be up from here.
No jam this week for Scope. Tom, last.
Yeah.
Nail to the bottom.
Yeah.
Bit of a bottom, are you, mate?
Yep.
Certainly this week I'm a bottom.
Feet up.
Yeah.
None from 12, 7
flounder.
from 24 legs, minus 13.11. Well done.
Well done, everyone.
go. Well
Great
done,
first
boys.
week.
Great week.
Great first week. Really good first week. Well, we should also, each week, whoever is leading does have the honour of the belt sitting in front of them. I think it's probably important. Sebo,
Well done, mate.
well done. You're not the champion yet, but you've earned the belt to sit in front of you. That was tough. Fuck round one.
Fuck round one. Fuck round one.
Fuck round one.
But let's get into round two.
Let's get into round two. Let's fucking do
Feeling
it.
good. Find some winners. Right, wrongs.
All right, first up, we got Panthers v. the Rabbitohs out at Penrith. Panthers are favourites $1.53, Rabbits $2.45. The line 4.5, over under 38.5. The Rabbitohs have got Totola and Jai Arrow out. Trell named knee injury. I don't know if that they just name fucking players to trick me. I feel like. And
He's been pretty lippy though this week.
he has been lippy. He has been lippy. Sorensen out for Panthers. Eisenhuth in. Panthers coming off the back of losing. Bunnies a win. Rando, you got anything for us here, bruh?
Well, it's going to be 22 and dry in Penrith on Thursday night. The Rabbitohs are not really happy travellers. They've lost 9 of their last 10 games against Penrith, and they've lost 8 of their last 10 away games as the underdog. Interesting stat, though, is looking at the total points for the Rabbitohs. In 9 of the last 10 games against Penrith, they've scored between 11 to 20 points, which is paying $2.35. In 5 of the last 7 games against Penrith, they have scored exactly 12 points, which is paying $7.25 if you're thinking about it. And as a try scorer, I think he's really good value as well. Cody Walker, he's scored in each of his last 5 games against Penrith. He's paying $3.35.
Okay, all right. Now, just quickly, and this is very specific to my own bet, does Isaiah Tass happen to score heaps of tries for the South?
Not too many. He's more of a provider, I would call him.
Great news. Well, I have... I'm liking Souths. I think Penrith are on the slide. Souths look very good. And fucking... I don't care what you say, Rando. Isaiah Tass is going over. I believe... Now, again, I didn't do... I was sick last night. This is like my Jordan flu game, right? I'm a bit under the weather, and I'm sort of doing my best here, so I didn't have time to really get nuts deep. I did today, but is Herbie Farnworth and Isaiah Tass both left centers?
Correct.
There you go. Herbie got a double against fucking Penrith last week, so Isaiah's going to do the same, 781. Sebo?
Look, I might actually take a couple of rando stats on board here. I'm going the Rabbitohs at the line. As much as they're injured, Penrith might have the yips. And so I think an injured person can beat someone with the yips most times. And from memory, they're always tight games. So I'm taking Penrith at the line of plus 4.5. And I'm just going with the trends in week 2. I'm taking Graham. He scored 2 last week. They're going right. They might not do it again, but it's the same as when someone catches a fucking fish off a boat. You just cast your line exactly where they just reeled it in, just because you're like, well, just to double check. You know what I mean? Like, let me just double check there's not another one there. So I'm doing that with Graham. But Rando mentioned Cody Walker. I might even throw that in as well, because if you're saying Penrith's right, edge is a bit weak, instead of going to Tass, I reckon Cody can just slip on through. So I'm going to take those 3, but I haven't put them together till literally just now because the Cody Walker thing just inspired me. So where is he? Someone else go.
Yeah, right. We'll come back to Sebo for the odds. Scope, what are you doing down there, bruh?
All right, boys, this scares me a little bit considering what we did last week, and we're basically all on the same page. It looks like we're all on the Bunnies again, which does scare me, but I'm going to stick with them. I'm going to almost pray to the gods. What was the god you were speaking about before? Sebo, maybe...
God of the Bath?
The god of the Bath. Does make sure Latrell Mitchell plays this weekend, because if he doesn't play, I think we're in.
Well, mate, I've got my I live in an apartment. I've got my blow-up bath ready to go. So
Beautiful.
Thursday, I'm going to whip it out.
Jump in there
throw
tomorrow
it in the
night
living
for us.
room.
Do you mouth blow that thing up, or do you have like a step pump? To blow
I've
that bath
got
up?
a plug-in.
An electric pump.
Yeah.
What happens with I have an outdoor, like a little blow-up pool in the backyard for the girls. That thing gets slimy as fuck. Like, do you have to clean your bath?
No, because it's just like in and out. I guess outdoor pools in the elements a little bit, but like...
Okay, so it's like clean.
A bath only, each one gets maybe 20, 30 uses before
you fuck it
I
off.
just fuck it off and get a new outdoory. Or not
How often do you change the water? What do you mean? Well, I mean, like, do you leave it in there?
No.
No, it's just
They're recycling.
you do.
you recycle.
You empty it every time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't sure.
Oh, well, I'm just going to
I think it was probably worth
leave
asking.
a blow-up bath of water in my living room in front of my TV.
Well, would that shock someone who professes to be the fucking
king of the bath?
demigod of the bath? Jesus Christ.
Sorry, Scope, I don't know if you actually.
Speaking of demigods, Trell Mitt is he's going to be playing for South Sydney. When I looked at the points from last week, I said, obviously he went unders on a lot of the games. It sort of got me thinking to lean the other way, but then they dropped it down to a nice little number that I think they're going to get to. And we talked about Rando threw out the stat, 12 points. I think Rabbitohs can score more than that this time around. So I'm going to get overs. South's into over 38.5. You get 5.26.
Not bad.
Plenty of units for that.
Not
Yes.
bad.
To happen.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Happen there,
I
Edward.
don't mind that.
I am not confident in a result for either team, to be completely honest.
You think it's going to be a draw?
Well, it may well be a draw, Tom, but I'm not fucking prepared to take Souths or Penrith. Cooper Cronk, we all know him. He was talking about the fact that the fucking Panthers last week, they just didn't do well when it started raining. Week before against Wigan, same thing.
St Helens.
St Helens, rather. Same thing, bit of rain, didn't perform. Dry track, though, this week, according to Rando. So they could win, Rabbitohs could win. Fuck it. I'm just going try scorers, Toto on an edge, doing a job. And then Campbell Graham, hope they go right again, baby. Ilias, he looked fucking silky smooth on the weekend.
Yeah.
Surely you go back to what felt right.
Yeah, something's like a bit of mongrel's got him in the off season.
Yeah,
Something.
he's
I don't
playing
know
well.
What happened? Yeah,
Murray play on that edge as well, into Graham. I like it. 681, boys.
Beauty.
Yep.
Lippy has gone. AJ and Tungo anytime 588, and that Lippy again is Mitch Healy
The
of
great Mitch Healy
1990
of-
Sharks half fame.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Let's get up how many games he played.
222.
222
There we go.
games.
He's quick. Fucking hell.
200?
And 22.
222, yeah.
Set up with the
played
great
89 to
Adam
2000.
Dykes,
Yes.
father of Cade
Cade
Dykes, who made
Dykes.
his
Yeah.
debut
Cade's
last
dad.
year. So, yeah, a bit of lineage in there,
I
boys.
think Cade spelt with a Y as well, which is just always a great sign for a rugby league player if they've got a Y in their name, in my opinion. We move on to the Eels versus the Sharks. Now, this is at CommBank. Eels favourites, $1.52, Sharks $2.50. Line 4.5 over 40.5. Both teams coming off losses. Wade Graham's out. Connor Tracy comes in. Royce Hunt returning. Eels pretty much the same except for Lemu. Eddie, what are you doing?
Going to Rando?
Sorry, Rando.
Sorry.
I'm going to cut you out.
Be a
Yeah,
dry
put his
track,
hand up over
24 degrees at CommBank on Friday night. Now, the Sharks, they've lost 11 of their last 12 away games as the underdog. The Eels, they've never lost back-to-back games at CommBank. And they've also won each of their last 4 games following Golden Point. So playing a few extra minutes hasn't hurt them in the last 5 seasons.
Interesting stats. Does it slightly work against what I'm doing? Potentially. Potentially it does. But it's about fucking believing in yourself. Punters and dribblers.
Do you believe?
Do you believe in yourself? Now, I thought Sharks were pretty good last week without fucking Nico Hines against the Bunnies. I didn't like what I saw out of the Eels, to be completely honest with you. So I like the Sharks with a 4.5 point start. I'm going to take that, throw that in there. Ronaldo, he was quiet last week. I expect a big game from the big fella. And then Penasini, who has done right by me a lot. I didn't have him in my about even multi last week, but I had him in first try scorer when we did the live stream, and it just feels right, man. Penasini. It feels like a really nice fucking bromance we're starting to get going. Like Sebo, you got bromance with everyone. I'm over here a little bit jealous, to be honest. Like, who can I fuck?
Yeah,
you
because
know
you've
what
got
I mean?
some Pinasini memories, I think.
I
from
do,
memory.
but
Yeah,
I'm gonna lean in on that. I'm gonna start trying to date him officially. He goes in $11.56.
All right. Scott, what are you doing?
That's very hard to come in after that. I'm going to say, Eduardo, there's a lot of love there, but I've got a lot of love for the Parramatta halves in this one, boys. So, like you said, Eduardo, weren't happy with the Parramatta performance. I dare say they wouldn't be happy. I've seen Mitch Moses being interviewed this week
he's
about
been
his
getting
contract.
fucking pounded.
He's got a bit of dog about him this week.
He's looking pissed off.
He's pissed off at a lot of people.
Yeah.
So when he starts getting after it, he brings his mate with him. They're both, Dill's just signed a nice big deal in the off-season. Yeah, his mate's looking to get up as well. So maybe they up for us and both cross. Para halves, anytime try scorers, $13.36.
Okay.
I like that play.
I don't hate it. It's the thing that would scare me off about that is that it's like specific. Does that make sense to you? Like that's like both halves scare me when like those sorts of bets scare me off.
What would scare me about that is Moses' business time haircut didn't do anything last week.
That's
I'm concerned about his business time mentality.
Yeah.
That would be what concerns me.
Yeah. Because he did. He got that haircut was, I'm here to play footy.
Yeah.
And then he didn't play like that.
And didn't bring the biz.
He didn't bring
Didn't back up the biz.
Yeah. And I don't know if he can grow his hair out quick enough in 7 days.
Or does he cut it again?
Yeah.
Cut it shorter. Go the
Cut it
skinhead.
shorter. If he goes skinhead.
If he goes skinhead, if he plays skinhead, you're on. Load up.
It was very military, wasn't it, boys?
Yes. Which is good often, but it's, listen, I'm actually, while we're here, I've got Moses. And I forgot about the business time haircut, but I was watching the Sharks Rabbitohs highlights, and because I missed the game, and the Sharks look shit on their left edge.
Correct.
Yeah, they look
That's
shit.
where all the tries come on the right.
That's where all the tries coming in. Campbell
Kolomatangi,
Graham got a couple,
Ilias.
Kolomatangi, and Moylan missed a couple of tackles. Talakai missed a couple, so I was just like, fuck it, let's go Penasini and Moses anytime. Give him a shot, 11-18. Hopefully the business time haircut, kicks in this week. Who the fuck knows? But that's what I'm going with, and that's what I'm pinning all my hopes to at 11-18. Sebo.
I really can't get a read on who's going to win this game. And I know a lot of analysts who know more about rugby league than me, which pretty much everyone will say, it's one in the middle and blah, blah, blah. I'm just hanging on the edges. I'm just putting a try. It's almost a double-ender. A winger from each team. I'm going Sevo. He missed out last week. Mulatalo, he's due. Or did he get one last week?
I think Ilias knocked it out.
Yeah, that's right. He pretty much scored. So I don't want to think about this game of who's going to win because I'm not smart enough to figure it out. I'm just picking two wingers. You put those two guys together, it's 357. It's nothing, but it's just
It's not.
It's nothing.
It's nothing.
It's absolutely nothing.
It's absolutely a nothing bet.
I'll happily take.
No, it's shit.
Yeah, I'll happily take a
shit
nothing
bet.
bet. I'm the one who's leading at the moment, so I wouldn't.
No. But it is fair for us when we see a bet that we don't like
Fair enough.
to call it out.
I admit it's a nothing bet.
So you admit the bet's shit.
I don't like the odds. That's what
Yeah,
that's what I don't
the
like.
odds.
Two
but
try
I think
scores
it's a
for
hard game.
357.
I think it's a hard game to pick. Is anyone confident?
Well, no, I haven't picked a fucking winner. That's for sure.
I surprisingly feel good about mine.
No, I allowed
I'm bringing that energy.
Yeah.
And
try.
I feel good about mine.
I think we're literally one bet away from taking that belt from him too. So your confidence, Seb, is
You need to be more
you're not that
confident
far
in
in
your
front
own
of
bet.
us.
Yeah, it's a shit
Hey,
bet.
look, you can't if you're confident about every bet all the time on the exact same level, that means you're never confident about your bet because it's just a shield that you're doing to make yourself look like you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Where I can come in and out of confidence
Here we
and
go.
not confidence.
Is Seb's bet shit? Of course you can't. Cannot predict now.
We'll come back to it. Come back to
we'll
it.
come back to it.
You can't double shit. What are you talking about?
It can't predict right
Just
now.
said it can't predict.
Don't even know how
that's
to use
fair
a
call.
fucking 8 ball.
Lippy's gone Mulatalo anytime. Eels 1-12 at $6.03.
Sure.
Sure. That's a sex with socks on a little bit. Like, it's not too advanced.
Interesting bet from an old shark.
Yeah, it is. You'd think he would have gone with his side.
You would have.
It is what it is. We'll come back to
maybe he's bitter. There's some bitterness.
true.
Maybe.
Might be.
Might have let him go. Fucked him on
Not
his
happy with that
wages.
ended. His third-party deals didn't come through.
Maybe. Wasn't given the car he was promised. Who knows?
Let's move on. Broncos Cows. This is a fucking good game. Broncos are favourites, $1.78. Cowboys $2.02. Line is 2 and over under 41.5. Reece Walsh back, and I think the Cows are exactly the same. Rando, what do we got?
56% chance of rain expected for this game, so it's going to be wet, 24 degrees. I've got in the last 5 seasons, the Cowboys have won 60% of their games against the Broncos when they are the underdog. Outside of a result, looking at try scorers, Tommy did, and he's made it personal against his former side at Suncorp. He has 5 try involvements in his 2 games against the Broncos at Suncorp, and he's scored in each of those 2 games as well. If you're looking for someone a bit more comfortable, Carl Felt, he scored 7 tries in his last 6 games against the Bronx.
Interesting.
Okay, this could be wholesale changes to my bet. I am just going to have a think. Sebo, what are you doing?
Rando, do you have the ability to find out the average winning margin in the last
I had a look at your bet, Sebo, and outside of COVID times where both teams have been pretty ordinary, in that stretch from the grand final in 10 games, 7 of those were between 1 to 4 points margin.
Perfect. Okay, because I'm just going either team by 4.5 points. I think now that both teams are getting pretty decent again and they're not dog shit, that we might return to a bit of that kind of Queenslander, extra time, field goal kind of stuff. So for 345, that's what I'm getting for either team, less than 4.5 points. So I've got like an 8-point buffer, really, because it's hard to really separate them. It's happened a gazillion times before that they've been that close, so I'm just taking it. 345.
Sure.
All right. Eddie, what are you doing?
I listen, I got a bit of rando about me this week. Went back, did some fucking math of my own, punters and dribblers. Went back to the last, I think, all the way back to 2018 games at Suncorp between the Cowboys and the Broncos. Wanted to look at the total points. Average in that time, 47.2 points. The line this week, 41.8. So I'm taking the overs. Throbbo, Cobbo, he goes back to the wing. Reece Walsh to fullback. I like him there for a try on the fucking win. Back to what he knows. And then Scotty Drink, who I think is going to have a fucking huge year and is an absolute stud. He goes in.
Smooth kid.
Oh, dude, he's
real
good.
smooth.
Yeah.
Nobody.
He's good.
Yeah.
And if I like the overs, if I like my own fucking math, then I think there's going to be try scorers. Scotty Drink goes in. Throbbo goes in. 974.
Yeah. That's good. Scotty Drink's got a real kind of like purple Powerade vibe to him. When he first came into the scene, it's like he's a bit of water or maybe an orange.
A sugar-free Powerade.
Yeah.
No, he's purple.
But now it's like, you are the Powerade. You are the purple Powerade of the NRL at
Jesus
the moment.
fucking Christ.
Makes no sense at all. But
No, that doesn't make sense. But
I do get you.
I knew exactly what you're talking about as soon as you
Is
said it.
Sebo South's bet, was it Parramatta bet shit? It is certain. There we go. Thank you.
It is certain.
Scope, what are you doing?
All right, boys, I'm big on recency bias. So, Rando threw out the stats. Seb was looking for some stats to back up his own theory with under 4.5. But the fact of the matter is, last year they played each other a couple of times, even going back to a trial, and they had the wood on the Broncos. I'm talking about the boys. And I'm on the boys to win the comp as well. Oh. So I'm not going to get, be disheartened by a 1-point win against the Raiders. I'm going Cowboys 13 plus. They did a number on the Broncos twice last year. This is when they were winning too, by the way. They dropped off at the back end of the year, but the Cowboys already played them and they did a number on them both times. So give me the Cowboys 13 plus. I think some teams just like playing some teams, and I know it's only a short little period, only 2 games, but I think it rolls into this year. Give me the boys 13 plus.
Okay. All right. Cows 13
Confident.
That's not good for...
And that's paying $5. That is paying $5.
$5 dues.
Looks good because 3 of the last Cowboys wins against the Broncos have been by 13 plus.
Okay. Listen.
Not good for me.
I brought that energy for a reason,
look,
boys.
all
I'm
I
feeling
would
that
say
bet.
here is I think that the Broncos, coupled with the fact that they have the greatest coach in the NRL in Kevin Walters, they like their forwards at the moment.
Oh, you like their forwards?
I
mate?
like their forwards. Paddy Carrigan, fucking Payne Haas is an absolute psychopath. I liked Adam Reynolds on the weekend. Thought Adam was good.
Adam was great.
I've got Broncos -2, and I had initially Broncos -2, Tuolungi, Cobbo anytime at like 8 something. But then I did hear Rando's felt stat, and I just thought Tommy Dearden's probably a bit too bold for me to throw in. But if I throw in a felt, I'm going to get some seriously fucked up odds on that. Now, odds usually suggest it's not going to happen, but I actually think that this is maybe a mistake by betting agencies everywhere. Broncos -2, Tuolungi felt, Cobbo anytime, 22.66. Broncos are back. The curse has been broken by Kempy, and I think they win. I think they go 2-0 to start the season.
22.66. It's not bad.
That's pretty good
It's
odds.
the Tom of old, that.
Well, it is Tom of old. I've
of
gone a little
old.
bit Tom of old. Old Testament Tom.
Big bets, no wins.
Well, mate, I had to, after fucking going
That's the Tom of old.
none from 12 first round, when I was trying to sort of be a little bit cute and, smart and trying to outsmart the rugby league gods, they fucked me. So now I'm trying to outsmart them a different way.
You got nothing to hide behind this season with no golf
Listen,
bets to
if
steal.
you do the same thing and expect the different results, that's the definition of being stupid or some shit like that, right?
Insanity.
Is that the insanity?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I really
Okay.
fucked that one up.
Yeah, that was really
That was really
nice.
good. Hey, do us a favor and clip that up for
Doing
me.
the same
That'll look
thing,
good.
expecting the same result. Insanity. Bang.
Or something.
Or stupidity or something.
Or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, that was said with real gravitas, mate.
What's the Lippy doing?
He has got Scotty Drink, Cobbo anytime, but likes the Broncos 1-12, 18.51.
Okay. I mean, look, it's bold. Drinky, Cobbo anytime. I don't mind that.
Not bad odds.
It's pretty good odds. Those margins are always a little bit tricky, but fucking...
I don't think I'll ever, 1 to 12 just scares the fuck out of me. I'm terrified by 1 to 12s. Let's move on.
Good odds, though.
Great odds. Great fucking odds for the former Sharks legend. Roosters v Warriors, Allianz. Roosters are $1.17, Warriors $4.80, line 14.5, over under 44.5. I don't know whether the Roosters suck. I feel like they suck. Manu back, Lodge gone. I think the Dolphins, not the Dolphins, who is it? The Warriors, they haven't had a change at all.
No,
but like the Roosters losing to the Dolphins, the replacements, the Redcliffe replacements, like
It's how they happen though.
Yeah.
It's always going to happen. The storyline.
It's the manner in which they lost.
The manner in which they lost. They were fucking awful. And they were awful the week before against the Seagulls in the trial. I know it was a trial, but that was shit.
That was shit. They sucked. Teddy might be done. I don't want to go and say anything too bold, but Teddy might be done in rugby league.
We caught it in the trials.
We did.
He
He got hooked in the trial, in the first trial.
And he's got a mouth guard with his name on it, which is never a good sign. Rando, what are we looking at?
It's going to be a hot one on Saturday. 30 degrees expected at Allianz. Now, the Warriors, they have lost 11 of their last 12 games in Oz. However, that 14-plus line is a bit big. The Roosters have failed to cover the line in 4 of their last 5 day games at home and 3 of their last 4 games in March at home as well. So maybe looking at that line for the Warriors there is a good shot.
I'm so sick of the fucking heat now. Like this February, March heat is just fucking oppressive. Like,
Well, it's because it's fucking humid and sticky.
It's just-
Humidity's the killer.
It just wears you down.
yeah. It ruins every
And
single night.
You actually forget how hot March is.
March is fucked, dude.
I absorb heat. Like, I love the heat. I love the sun. But when the humidity comes,
And you're a sweater.
yeah, I'm a big sweater.
You're a big sweater.
Yeah. No. So, I forgot. And it's making me a
I
bit
think you
cloudy.
forget every year.
Yeah,
You get
yeah.
back to February and March, you go, fuck, this is oppressive. This is hard to live.
Well, because you get fucking hoodwinked by
The dry heat.
No, by a big calendar who tells you that March is fucking autumn.
No.
Delayed
And it's
seasons,
not.
boys. Delayed
Nothing.
seasons at the minute.
Autumn and March do not go hand in hand. There's nothing fucking cold about March.
It's fucking bullshit. Now, on that, what are you doing, Eddie?
On that, listen, again, I can't go back past the fact that the Roosters stink. Now, I'm not saying they can't get better, but I don't see huge improvement off last week because there was no improvement on the week before that. Fucking awful. There was no desire in their loss against the Dolphins. So for that reason, I like the 14.5 point start. We were at this game, well, I think it was round 1 last year, Tom, but the Roosters at home. Warriors beat them.
No, that was Roosters Knights.
I was Roosters
Sorry to
Knights.
fuck that yarn for you.
It's not important. Warriors plus 14.5. Kossi to score a try, 472. Nothing crazy. I just see a huge fucking line that I don't see the Roosters covering, and I think Kossi scores a try.
See, I don't trust either side. So I don't trust the Roosters to fucking cover the line, and I don't trust the Warriors to be able to fucking put up a fight. Like, fuck all that shit. Steer clear. Manu 2 or more, comes back, hot, horny, ready to rip.
A lot of tries.
Not for Manu, it's not. 2 tries. He does that in fucking 1 play. He might score 2 at once.
Yeah, you can boot Scoot over from 5 out.
Yeah, he can.
2 at once.
He might score 2 at once. He might. And you'll get 775.
How's that where you just put the ball down twice?
You
or?
put it down, you pick it up, you put it down again. That's 775 for Manu as well. 2 tries. Thanks for coming. Sebo?
I can't look. Last season, I loved me good old Warrior line, but they really started to fuck me when they were coming. Well, when they were playing big teams like the Roosters and stuff. Like I was on their lines a lot, but the Roosters, I don't know, 14 points. Maybe they'll get there. I don't know where the Roosters are. I don't know where the Warriors are at. I don't know how they're going to be like after they travel. So I'm just leaving it. And I'm on Manu as well because he's back and he scores tries all the time. But then Cheese, I feel us and anyone else who's sending bet slips are like, why isn't anyone on Cheese? Everyone used to always load up on Cheese for an anytime try scorer. And he nearly crashed over a couple times on the weekend. So I'm going Manu and Cheese, which sounds like a fucking yummy sandwich at $10.05.
It does sound like
It does sound like a good
That sounds like a nice
Sounds like
sandwich.
It's a delicious sandwich.
Yeah, it sounds like a great sandwich.
Just a Manu and cheese. Thanks, mate.
I don't hate that bet.
You're buying that from a New York deli.
Yeah, that's like a really...
That's where you're getting that from.
Yeah. You're getting that from like a place that exclusively does sandwiches. Like you're not getting that from the server.
No, but it's what they're known for.
Yeah. It's like, if you want a Manu and Cheese, you have to go to this
You
place.
get the fucking subway out to Brooklyn to get the world famous Manu and cheese.
yeah.
That's what you do.
That's a great point. Scope, where are you?
All right, boys. Again, we spoke about it. Rando, I love the stat because I was on the Roosters a lot of those times last year. They didn't cover the points. They let me down. They're also going to win the spoon. They suck.
Yep.
The Warriors are a top 8 team.
Okay.
So you
The
give
Wars,
me 14,
baby.
you give me 14.5 for the Wars, who are a top 8 team, and the Roosters suck. I'll take that. And then I just don't back either of them to score points. It looked hot last weekend. No one was scoring points. Give me the under 40.5. I've double unit this one. Is that the
Double stake?
Double stake.
Wow.
Double stake the unit.
Double
it's only
stake.
$2.88, but
Yeah.
it just happens. It just gets the job done. So I've had a lick on that double stake.
Jesus.
Love a double stake.
Listen, I love a double stake, but those odds are disgusting. $2.88.
It just wins. It just
Speaking
wins.
of double stake, if you really want to build this relationship with Pinasini, I reckon you might need to double stake him as well.
Yeah, why don't you have a
Yeah.
crack, mate? Double stake Penasini, you
You want to
push
show him some love?
I'm
You
going
wanna
to
show Penny
fucking
some love?
oath. Back to Penny.
There you go.
11.56. Stake it. Double.
Double.
Why not?
He
Yeah,
eats
fuck
I
it.
feel it, man. He eats any.
Fuck
yeah,
it.
Yeah,
If
he
you get it,
needs
mate,
a good
listen.
steak.
If I want to be serious about my relationship with Will, then
You
I need to
show him that
yeah.
you're serious.
I need to go down on him, baby, and that's a double stake.
Lippy has gone Tupo Manu anytime at $4 boring dollars.
Yuck.
Look, it'll probably happen though, so you can't fucking knock it all that much.
Yeah, but it's just like it's trying to be a sandwich, but it isn't.
Yeah,
you
it's
know
not a
what I mean?
sandwich. It's a Tupo Manu. That's
no
not a
Manu and
sandwich. You
cheese.
don't travel for that.
It's no
shit.
Manu and cheese, I'll tell you that
No,
much.
it's not. You get it from a servo, but you get it anywhere. Dolphins v Raiders, KO Stadium. I'm fucking pumped to see what this ground looks like on a Fox League broadcast. You got $2.45 for the Fish. I love that they're favourites. The Raiders Raiders are favourites, $1.53. My mistake. Line 5.5, over under 41.5 points. The Fish unchanged except for Ray Stone, who's out with a knee injury or something. Raiders have brought in Albert Hopewade of Hopewate fame. And I think that is all in terms of non-stats related shit. Rando, what do you got?
61% chance of rain expected, 24 degrees. The wet favours the Fish, obviously, because of water, fish.
No, that's a
that
great
goes
point.
hand in hand. But the Raiders' last 4 games in the wet have been decided by exactly 2 points. In the last 3, they have lost, despite being the favourite in each of those 3 games. Tag that on with the fact that the Raiders have only won 3 of their last 10 games in Queensland. It looks like the Fish are pretty good odds there at $2.45.
Love that.
And what I really liked in particular was the middle here. For the Raiders, they obviously let in 2 tries to Scotty Drink through the middle. JMK was looking hot through the middle for the Dolphins last weekend. So he's paying $6 to score any time, or you could look to any other front rowers who are paying even more. So that could possibly be the play.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
There's some good stats.
I'm walking something back in my bet.
They're great stats.
Well, I'm just loving to have Rando here doing the weather because I literally never check the weather.
No, well, Rando's a weatherman.
Well, that's
Rando-
what
7 out of 8
there.
last week with the weather, by the way. Only the Cowboys game didn't see rain, and I was a bit
Yeah.
disappointed with that.
Rando Bailey.
Yeah, let's get you a little fake ponytail.
Probably gotta
Rando
get the
Bailey.
weather
Should get him,
systems
yeah.
up behind me. for the next time.
Yeah, you should put the fucking weather behind him. Well, what are you walking back, Seth?
So I didn't know where this game was going, so I just tried to go like the classic multi of a head-to-head, a try scorer. And
What do you mean you
so-
didn't know where it was going?
Like I can't get a read on it. You know what I mean? So I just went. I was going Dolphins to win, Kotrick to score. So you can kind of. It's kind of like a double ender in a way where you've got the win on this side and then the try scorer on that side. So
Yep.
you're happy on both sides of the ball.
No
there.
one's got a double ender yet this season.
But then I had the overs in there because I was like, oh, the Raiders love to leak points. And then now with the rain, I was like, nah. So I'm just going Kotrick and Dolphins, and that gets you $7.58.
Okay. All right. Mr. Scope down the end there, what are you thinking?
Look, I like to have one of these each round, boys. A team that I think may start well, like I thought the Broncos would against the Penrith Panthers last week, but then the better team come over the top. So I'm going to roll with that this week. I think the Dolphins are going to be pumped. They had a very historic victory at Suncorp against the Sydney Roosters, so they'll be feeling themselves. But Raiders have proven they can make it close in the end. So give me the Dolphins to be winning at halftime, but the Raiders with a bit of class, a bit of dog from Jackie Whiten, they come over the top and get the job done full time. You can get $7.50 about that. Dolphins halftime, Raiders full time.
Okay.
Not a bad bet.
Not a bad
bad
bet.
bet.
Not for
Not a
$7.50.
bad bet.
That's pretty good.
Edward?
Listen, those that have been following the show for a while would know that I'm a bit of a fucking part-time patternist, like looking for patterns.
Yeah.
And I've found a dribbly one. So every time Wayne Bennett has started at a new club, So even if he's gone back to old clubs like the Broncos, he's 5-5 from the second game of the season. Okay,
Five from five wins? Okay.
5 wins, no losses, 1 bye. I just like what the Dolphins were about last week, baby. They just set the fucking tone, and I reckon they go over there and they overwhelm the Raiders. Again, the stat.
That's a great stat.
5 from
Great
5,
stat.
bro.
Where were you on that one, Rando? You fucking
Game
idiot.
respects game. That was brilliant,
Come on,
Eddie.
baby. You got to keep up.
I'm not going to be here next week at this rate.
Jesus.
Wayne doesn't lose the second round.
How are you not
at a new
taking these
club.
second games?
I know,
Yeah,
That's a
exactly.
stat.
What are you
That's a
not
stat you've
looking
got to
at?
have.
You got to look, baby.
Might have to
Now,
credit you.
the Dolphins, for that reason, go in as underdogs, and the Hammer scored one last week, put him in for another one, 5.47.
I love that. I love it. I've got the fish to win, of course. I can't trust the Raiders, and I've always struggled against Ricky Stewart coach teams generally. The fish to win. Isako, any time to get 2 on the weekend?
Yeah,
Isako?
2 of the best.
They look good
2 of the
going
best.
over there.
He's
Two of the
smiling
best.
while he's going over as well.
Oh, he kid's
Now,
happy.
Not like Ronnie Mills who got it knocked out. He's smiling. He went over. He put it down.
Yeah, you put it
Yeah.
down. Smart footy. That's
Yeah.
how you
That's
score
how you
tries.
score.
You got to put them down.
Yeah,
Shout
you can
out to
smile.
Ronnie.
You can
Big fan of
smile.
Ronnie.
Yeah, but you can smile afterwards when the job's
You
done.
got to smile after you score the try, not before.
Smile when the job's done.
But listen, obviously, never having played rugby league at the highest level, I still feel like tactically I'm fucking tapped in, right? And I'm thinking they're all just going to expect it to go out to Isako. But I may be mistaken here as well, because I've done very little looking into exactly what's going on, but I believe Kafusi's on the same side as Isako. Would that be correct, Mr. Horror, down
Yeah,
there?
he's on the right side. Yeah, he's
So
protecting
instead,
that
They're
edge.
going to go wide to Isako. He's going to score a try. They're going to be like, fuck, he's going to go in again. But what they're actually going to do is go short to Kafusi.
Well, you look long, play short.
Look long, play short.
Yep.
Fish to win. Isako won. Kafusi won 18-24. I know that's a lot, but
He's back. You're back.
He's back. 1 poor week.
That is back.
One poor week.
One poor week and I'm
it's back to
Watch this
$20
one
odds.
come off, though.
I feel like you're feeling this one.
I am feeling this way.
Yeah, you are.
Kafusi's fucking, he's got a bit about him in 2023.
Yeah, he does.
Snapping cunts, and then now he's going to do it on the other side and start scoring tries.
Nice.
There you go. What's the Lippy doing?
He's got points under 41.5 and hammer anytime 6.22. So they expect points.
It's going to be wet.
He's going to be wet.
So under's not the worst. All right.
Not bad.
Let's keep going. Storm v Doggies. Amy Park. Storm $1.36. The Dogs $3.05. Line 7.5. Over under 39.5. Munster out with that fucking gruesome finger injury. What a sicko he is. Respectfully. Just mean that's fucking disgusting. Sco, what's the worst injury you played on with?
None. I always come off. I'd get a cork and come off, boys. I was that sort of dude.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm now on the desk with you boys.
For the next 3 weeks.
For the next 3 weeks.
Wishart's in for Munster. Dogs name the same side. We do have a member of the Dogs coaching staff here, so let's be respectful. Rando, what do you got?
Oh, geez. Might have to take away all my stats here then. Be 19 degrees, 23% chance of rain, but expecting it to be dry during play. The Storm, they have won 11 of their last 12 games at home in the opening 10 rounds. The Bulldogs, they've lost their last 7 against Melbourne. When we look at margins, the Storm have won 8 of their last 10 home games in the opening 10 rounds by 13 plus. The Dogs have lost 5 of their last 6 games against Melbourne by 13 plus. And if you're looking for a try scorer on the left side, Xavier Coates has scored in each of his 3 games against the Dogs.
These stats aren't great for where I was going. Eddie, how about you, bud?
Listen, obviously we're at Brookie on the weekend, Tom on the hill, and saw firsthand how poor the Dogs were. No offense, Willie. Didn't like what I saw. I think there is a potential, though, for the Storm to potentially start a little bit slowly without Munster, but then come over the top of them. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a Dogs early lead, maybe like a 6-0, 12-6, something like that at halftime, and then the Storm just come over and roll them. They're an 80-minute side. Dogs are not. You get $8 for that.
I like the Dogs plus 7.5 because, like, when they didn't have Munster on the weekend, the Storm, they looked like shit. Like, they couldn't. Him coming back on was sort of what sparked the change, and they just didn't seem like they had much doing other than that. I feel bad. I feel like the Dogs can maybe do a bit more. One more week together, same side. Billy Kickow got fucking monstered by the boy Olakawatu. He's got to try and turn things around. So I like Dogs plus 7. Billy kicks anytime, 7.27. It's a bit bold, but you got to be bold sometimes.
Oh, you're backing Billy?
Yeah, you got to be bold. You know, you got to be bold.
Sure.
Let's go.
I'm going bold, baby.
You going to be bold?
with you.
There you go.
We're talking about the dogs here. The dogs of war. And the biggest dog from the weekend was Cam Munster. He's no longer there for Melbourne. So I'm going to go to the dogs. I'm going to take the dogs 1-12. This bet was in. I had it even before I knew AG was going to be in here. I love the dogs here. I think they bounced back. A couple of their dogs didn't perform. The Canterbury team I'm talking about on the weekend, they'll want to bounce back. They're proud players. They're international players. They've played for their country in the off-season. They'll be ready to bounce back. So give me the dogs 1-12 at $3.80. I think Melbourne's class as a franchise will be the only thing that keeps them in. I think the dogs will be pumped and keep it nice and close.
There you go. I like that. I like hearing that. Sebo?
Look, I'm on the doggies as well. I love the doggies. As I said last week, there's always a team that comes through and becomes everyone's second favourite team. It's usually a team on the up. And I'm not, after last week and the Dolphins winning, I'm like, because I'm such a storyline punter and I love good stories.
Didn't know
I
that.
can't ignore them anymore. And like, the dogs started slow, but getting a win over Melbourne in round 2 would just be, that's the feel-good story. Do I fully believe in the writer of this narrative? No. So I'm taking the line, 7.5. Like, I'll give them 7.5. Just a little bit of safety net, but I want to cheer them on whilst also giving myself a little bit of safety. But
You're giving the author of this story a chance at the big time?
Yeah. It's like, here's a chance.
Deliver a script.
Write me a pilot episode, please.
Does this bore you? The fact that feel good sounds like feel good?
There you go. There you go.
What's that do for you?
Wow.
What's that
This
do
has got a
for
bit
you?
of a rom-com about it. Was written.
Bill's the author. He's writing the script. He's got his bloody typewriter out. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So, but I don't trust 100%. So I need every story needs a good fucking villain, and I can't just be on the dog. So I need a try scorer on the other side for Melbourne. I need Jerome Hughes to just score like almost, I feel like an early try that's going to be super soft, like really bad defense to galvanise
Very
the dogs and go,
detailed.
we're not doing this shit again this week, and just fucking go for it and get me that 7.5 points line. So the dogs plus 7.5, Hughes anytime 7.42.
What's Hughes paying for tries these days? Is he,
Hughesy for that one. I'll have to check it up.
We're
get back
attacking the
to me.
sevens, aren't we? I like the very detailed way that Hughesy scores early, softly.
Yeah.
Just really sparks the boys up
yeah,
for
yeah,
a historic Bulldogs comeback.
They can't be doing, not this again. Not this again. Not like last
Yeah, you're not
week.
going to come out in first set, they're going to get it right. They need something to galvanise them. That's what, in a good story, there's 3 acts. You know what I mean? You have the opening bit where the setup and then something goes wrong, and then you fight your way through the middle, and then you have the climax.
This
So-
obviously isn't a rom-com, though, right? This is
That's any story. Any story, same
No, I know.
structure, mate.
Okay, well, Hughes $2.95, by the way.
$14 if you go the first try scorer and read the feel good.
Oh, there you go. Shit. Well, that's value.
Look, other people do that. I can't after that because I've just I've said my bit. I've said my bit.
Yeah, you do need to lay down.
Yeah.
And then Lippy has got. Everyone gone? Have I missed anyone here? Or
Yep,
are we
all done.
on to Lippy?
Lippy.
He's got Reed Marnie, Nick Meaney, anytime at $13.90. I don't hate that. I don't hate that. $13.90. That's good
not a
odds.
bad price.
To just quickly pay respect to the man beside me, the Bulldogs, they've won 3 of their last 5 games in Melbourne. And on top of that, Tyron Wishart is starting at 5'8". He's never played 5'8" in NRL level. At reserve grade level, he's 3-6.
Oh, shit.
So we're over 50% chance.
There we
Bulldogs
go.
win.
That's good stuff.
That's what that says to me.
Rando, I mean, I've never seen Rando work so quickly to find pro
I
Bulldog
feel
stats
like
there. That
Rando's
was-
backed a lot of my plays. A lot of the stats are going, so I'm feeling good this week.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Good about it.
That's good stuff. All right, next up we've got the Sunday poo slinger, Tigers v Knights. Everyone pumped for this pile of shit. We have got the Tigers $1.73, the Knights $2.05, the line 2.5, over under 42.5. Gagai coming back for the Knights, happy to start. That's about it, really. Rando, what's up?
Quite literally a stinking hot day at Leichhardt, 28 degrees.
Hot
dry
poo slinger, that's even
conditions.
worse.
Absolutely. The only stat I've got here to kind of separate the two sides is that the Knights have only won 3 of their last 16 away games as the underdog. A few try scorers, though, to keep an eye on. Obviously, you got Noffer at those short odds. He scored 6 tries in 6 games against Newcastle. And then you got Tyson Frizzell as well, who scored in 3 of his last 4 games against the Tigers. So he could be some juicy odds there as well.
Okay. All right. Eddie, what are you doing here?
Listen, in a poo slinger, you got to look for, like, is there any class out there at all? Is there anything of substance that I can fucking put my nuts behind? Because at the moment, all I can hear or see is hot poo getting thrown around.
On a Sunday.
On a Sunday. But I see Isaiah Papali'i there, and I'm like, well, that guy's fucking class. So I'm just putting him in for an any time. That's all I need. $4.20. Go with class. Close your eyes. Pray to the gods.
Pray to the gods. Yep, I get that. Sebo, what are you doing on a hot Sunday poo slinger?
Look, I mean, I'm looking at my bet now, and I'm thinking, do you guys have rugby league the game here?
We don't. We probably there isn't one for PS5. Can a PS4 game work on a PS5?
I don't know. I don't have either because I said last week that I just need obviously the players won't be the same, but for the games like this, I just want to simulate a 12-minute game and then get the try scorers, rugby league 4 or whatever it is, and just pick the numbers. So, okay, that number scored, and just get 2 try scorers out of them because I don't know what to do and I don't want to give any thought. I've got Tigers win and over 41.5 at $3.09, but am I confident in it? No. Do I know how to bet on this game? No. I just don't know what to do. So I may as well leave it up to a fucking console at this point, but we don't have the game. So until then, I'm just,
Right.
Yeah.
I get that.
So you're all over the map.
I'm all, what are you meant to do? How can you look at this game and go, I've got a confident bet?
No, it's a very fair point. And with that in mind, Scope, what are you confidently betting on?
Well, I'm confident that the Tigers are going to perform in the poo slinger this year because if we look back to last year, they went head-to-head against themselves with this game against the Knights a little bit later in the year. I just checked it just to make sure. And I remember they had a poo slinger at the start of the year against the Titans as well. So I remember in the game at Campbelltown last year, I was watching it. It was the toughest watch of the season. It was a poo slinger. And neither team wanted to win. That in the last 15 minutes, they were trying to give it to the opposition. They just didn't want to take it. Eventually, I think the Knights scraped home, winning by 4 points at the death. But the Tigers didn't want to win it. Knights didn't want to win it. So I'm going to stick to that same thought process this year, boys. I'm just going to go either team under 4.5. Maybe a field goal decides it. Maybe a shitty penalty at the end of the year in a poo slinger somehow gets the job done. Someone doesn't get square at marker. They're 30, 40 metres out. Kick a penalty to win. In Golden Point.
Is Ashley Klein reffing? He'll probably fucking poo slinger like that.
He loves a poo slinger.
He loves a poo slinger.
He loves turning it into a
poo
poo
slinger.
slinger.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go either team less than 4.5 for $3.50, boys.
That's a poo slinger bet for a poo slinger match. I like it.
One of the funniest things was it. The Tigers on the weekend get the penalty early on or something, and they kick the 2 points as if they're like a top 4 team. And it's like if you guys are in a poo sling with each other, like you try score a try.
Yeah,
guys.
but that's what the hallmark of a poo slinger is it's just 2 shit teams slinging shit, and it's like we don't trust that we're gonna be able to score a try here. So fuck it, let's just take points.
But I like that bet, Scope, because it's like that is one way to read a poo slinger, because if they both can't score, it's like
a team is going to lose it, not the other team win it.
Yeah, exactly.
If that makes sense.
Yes. Yep.
Could be 2-0.
That would be real.
Wasn't there literally one like that with the Knights last year?
Yeah, it might have been Knights Tigers, or it was like 2-2 for fucking.
I think it was Knights Titans.
Or was there a Tiger? No, it was Tigers.
Yeah,
Someone
no,
I
Knights,
swear.
Titans.
Was it
Tigers,
2-2?
Titans.
Oh, right. Yeah. I had Bradman Best and Brent Naden any time because it was just a double ender, one from each side. Fucking give me something just so I can, switch off. But then here in Norfolk and Frizzell, I just was like, fuck it, let's go that. Because I didn't pick Naden and fucking Best for any reason other than I was just like, it was a real fuck it. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I decided to go with Rando there with the stats that help, with the stats that make sense. So 9.20 for Nofa and Frizzell anytime. And then we've got the Lippy here who's got Dommy Young and Norfolk anytime, Tigers 1-12 at 9.10. Way too much to happen in a poo slinger there. That's Lippy as it gets. Lippy as it gets. Now, last game of the round. This is a semi-poo slinger. It's not a full poo slinger. Dragons v Titans. I liked the Titans last week against where you thought it was a slinger because it was against the Tigers and it was Titans, but it actually ended up they looked all right.
Titans aren't slingers. Titans
They
lose
can be,
games.
though.
No, but
They're
they
potential
can
slingers.
score.
Yeah.
They can score points at least. They can make a game exciting. They just can never win it. They always.
That's fair.
Okay, we'll go out 24 points in 20 minutes, and then we'll somehow lose it. Like at least you get in some tries.
They've got slinger in them.
Yeah.
They've been known to sling. They've slung in the past. But the Dragons are a favourite somehow to $1.80. Or maybe because foreign's out. $1.98 for the Titans. The line, 1.5, over under 40.5. Yeah, I mean, as we were saying, like foreign's been named, but it sounds like he's not playing, right?
Yeah, and that sort of hampers my bet a little bit.
Same.
But I'm going to stick with it because I think the Dragons are poo slingers.
Same.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
So do you want me to just roll straight in?
Well,
my
hold on.
time?
We'll get the stats.
Okay,
We'll get the stats from Rando and then.
26 and dry at Cogra. The Dragons, now they surprised everyone with their home game performance. They won their last 6 home games as favourite and covered the line in each of those 6. And the Titans have only won 1 of their last 5 at Cogra. I was a bit like you guys when I saw the odds come out, Titans underdogs. But looking back at the stats, the Dragons, even though they had basically the same team as they did last year, they still managed to scrape a home win. If you're looking for anyone, David Fafita, he scored in each of his last 2 games against the Dragons.
Love that.
Love
Interesting. Love that. Scope, where are you going?
Rando, I said you've backed me all show. You've continued to back me. I was a little bit apprehensive with the Kieran Foran news because I thought he really combined with him nicely last week, put him through. Therefore, setting up, making a nice little line break, setting up Phil Summy for the first try, as you know. But I'm going to stick with him, and I'm going off the back end of a big contract upgrade, but he looks like he's locked in for another couple of years at the Titans. So I'm going to go 2 tries, David Fafita. Love scoring against the Dragons. Let's try get 2 of them, and you can get that for $10.50.
I don't hate it. I certainly loved it more when Poppy Foran, the first grandfather to play NRL, was playing, but he is injured. It seems like there's something in the water at Manly that keeps him fucking fit, and then he goes somewhere else, and he falls apart. Now, obviously, love him. He's dead to us, but love him. Wish he was playing. I had Titans 13+ into my first name bet of the year, but I fucked off 13+, and I fucked off the Titans, actually, because Poppy Foran's out. I'm just going David Fafita, Jojo Fafita anytime. Both have the same last name. That's literally it. So, don't look at that as any sort of expertise. Not that that's ever what I'm providing. So you're going to get $7.42 for that. It's not bad. Is Jojo a winger? I didn't even know. I just saw his fucking last name.
He's a good winger.
There you go. So it could fucking
winger.
happen. Yeah, I like it. Sebo?
Look, I was in the South Coast again, and I was in a coffee shop in Milton, just next to Mollymook, and I just saw a couple people wearing Dragon jerseys, and it just fucking pissed me off because I was just like, I love this place so much, but the Dragons are representing, it really got to me. So I'm just like,
I know you keep bringing it up.
I know. So I just went, Titans win. Titans, I'm with you, and I've always had a bit of a soft spot for the Titans. I quite like him, and then Brimo's bringing him in. I don't want to put too much pressure on him by going, you just got me a double staked single. That I'm going to try do that again. That's too much pressure for our relationship. But I'm going to throw him into the multi. And then Fafita, because he just fucks. So Titans win, Fafita, Brimo, $10.51. Just kind of hand it to the South Coast as much as I love them.
Yep.
But they just need to be pounded so there can be a restart at some point and Mollymook can be better represented.
Does Brimo come into 5'8" and then...
I think so. I think that's what will
old
happen.
mate
I think
Campbell
Jaden Campbell
goes
will
to
go fullback. I haven't seen... let me have a look at the team list.
Does that make it...
Foran was named, I'm pretty sure.
And
Foran was
he
named.
was.
It almost makes it even better. You know what I mean? If even as good as Foran is, Jaden Campbell is a replacement fullback.
Well, it's not bad. It's not a bad replacement.
But they're not favourites. That's what I'm saying. The Titans
because they've
aren't
still named... Well, yeah, you're right, because Foran's still been named.
Toby Sexton's in the extended bench. He might just slot straight into 6 and they keep the same rotation, but I dare say they might move Brimo there.
We liked playing 5'8". I had Titans winning, but Poppy Foran's out. Rando's got some pretty overwhelming stats. I'm just going to take the result out of it, and I'm going to put Fafita in because he's a hell of a fucking player, and it'd be fun if we're all on him together. So Fafita goes in, Sammy as well, 778.
Cool.
That rounds out my bets.
That rounds out the bets. Lippy, Titans 13+, Pereira, and Fafita anytime.
all on Fafita.
1581. This
Not
is
good.
That's not good when we're all on the same person, except maybe he's got Jojo Fafita, which would help. No, he's got David written there. Fuck. That's 1581 for him. Let's get to our unit scoopers, the 10 to 10,000, and wrap this bitch up. I'll kick things off here. I've taken, a little bit. I've taken the foot off the accelerator a little bit with my unit scoopers. Tried to be a little more conservative than last week. Picking one from every game seems to be fucking impossible. I'm just going Joey Manu, Jerome Hughes, Tuolangi, Cobbo anytime. You can get 31.26. They're all pretty fucking hot.
Not too bad.
I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. But I mean, I've been wrong before.
You have been.
Eddie?
I've got South to win against Penrith, Sharks to beat the Eels, Dolphins to beat Raiders, Tigers to beat the Knights, and Titans to beat St George, $51.40.
Beautiful. Don't hate it.
Nice.
Scope?
Boys, last week when I walked into this beautiful looking set, I had a look up there and I seen the Izaki 8. And it really caught me off guard. It's something that I wanted to get throughout the season. Now I've only got 3 weeks to get it. So I'm attacking it straight away, boys. And I'm attacking it for the next couple of weeks. So give me Souths plus 4.5, Para minus 4.5, Cowboys plus 2, Warriors against the worst team in the comp, the Sydney Roosters, plus 14.5, Raiders minus 5.5, the Bulldogs plus 7.5, Knights plus 2.5, and Titans plus 1.5. And that gives you $169.83 units.
Good luck.
Sheesh, first fucking crack.
I'm going for these Zaki boys.
Imagine if the cunt hits a Zaki and then fucks off and we're just trying to chase him for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and then he just
Azaki will get me the
After
belt,
3,
right?
and then he wins after. I mean,
Azaki locks in the belt.
well, it doesn't
It'll be very hard.
lock it in, but it'll be hard.
I'll be chasing another one down.
Yeah,
so if you get it, but like you're coming out early, and I get it.
Yeah, I'm
why.
going hard.
I'm kind of more that like I'm standing at the top of the mountain, ready for my first line, going down. But I'm just waiting. I'm waiting there. Just figuring out Scope's going hard early, and I appreciate it. I like it.
See which lines he takes, and then you go, well, we're not going to follow that
Yeah,
one.
I'm not going to take that line. I'll take this line, and I'm gonna make a good charge to get a second one. Not going to overdo it, but once the 8 lines start hitting me, I'm going to be going hard for a few weeks.
Okay. All right. What are you doing, though, this week?
I am staying away from just trying to do too much in the league. I'm taking the Roosters and Titans to win, but I mainly
Doesn't sound like you're staying away from the league, then, does it?
just a couple legs.
Okay. Yeah.
but not staying away.
Not staying away.
That's being used as a bit of salt and pepper for John Rahm to win the players. Rahm's on fucking fire at the moment. He's number 1 in the world. He's won like 4 tournaments in the last 6 months. He's just a machine. Rory's the only really guy standing up against him. And the players is just a fucking good tournament to watch. A lot of water everywhere. It's an unofficial major. So Rahm to win, Roosters and Titans, it's $22, just 3 legs.
Okay. All right. And then we've got the Lippy here. He's got the anytime smoothie bet where he's got Teddy, AJ, Mulatalo, Kickout, and David Fafita at 116.29. Teddy's the big problem there, bruh.
Huge problem.
Teddy's the huge problem for you there. Teddy does not score tries anymore.
Enormous problem.
No.
You can't find the Teddy.
He can't. Yeah, no, mate. If you can wrangle a Teddy, then you deserve every fucking cent of that. Now the 10 to 10,000. I've gone. Oh, who's Friday? Who's Thursday night?
I'm Thursday.
You're Thursday night.
Yeah. Look, AJ, I just don't think you can go 2 weeks in a row without scoring. I know it's against Penrith, but Rando, please help me out. Surely he scored some tries against Penrith in the past.
Yeah, he has. He has scored tries.
Okay,
He's definitely scored.
Not many, but he has scored.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's all I need to know. Yep. 205 AJ to score against Penrith.
Sweet. I'm Friday. Sharks Eels game. I'm just going Mulatalo anytime at $2.20.
Saturday, Warriors to cover the line, 14.5 points.
Fuck, that's bold.
Hold the line.
That's a bold one to throw.
I don't
onto us.
like the
We're gonna be
Roosters.
up 3, and you're going to fucking go on the Warriors.
I don't like the Roosters.
I'm with you,
I was on the
Edward.
Warriors last week, baby.
with you,
and
Edward.
they
You
delivered
did
in
too, mate.
spades.
They're playing the Knights.
So what, mate? The line was tiny. 14.5 points. Fucking oath. Take it.
Let's go.
Sunday is the day of the Pooslingers, boys, so it was tough to find some jam here, but I'm going to go a Pooslinger sort of game in the Dragons versus Titans. Unders 40.5. Dragons don't score many points.
Beautiful. Rando, what are you doing?
The only thing I could find value here at such short odds as a lock, I think the Eels will bounce back -4.5 to beat the Sharks.
Okay.
Beautiful.
All right. That's us for another week. Shout out to Neds for all their support. As I almost choke on my own spit. If you can have a punt, make sure you do it responsibly. Take it to the Neds level. And we'll be back next week. Bye-bye.